Good afternoon. If it's Tuesdays, 12:30 Eastern, it's time for Tuesday's Tips Live here with Michael, my home office. Thanks for joining. And if you're watching this post session, thanks for watching post session. So we're on this little management journey. Last week we started on our 4-week management journey. And something I said last week, and I will repeat throughout the 4 sessions, depending which one you happen to pop in on. Um, we work with a lot of companies that unfortunately promote frontline employees, kind of up and coming, high performance. They call them, the hypo group. Their next run up the ladder is supervisor, right? They're now a boss. They're responsible for other people. And unfortunately, a lot of our clients and what we hear from our clients, unfortunately, is that there's not a lot of training until after they get their promotion. So after you promoted Mary or John or Sue to the title of supervisor, then they go back and do some training around being a supervisor. In essence, they're on the job being a boss, and now we're going to go back and train them how to be a boss. We recommend that this training get backed up. Once you've identified those up and coming, that next generation of leaders within your organization, supervisors, we recommend that you actually put together a program that teaches them how to be a boss. Because as I've said this many times in the training classes we teach, being a boss is one of the most important relationships that any employee in your organization has. If they have a significant other, that's obviously the most important relationship. They have family, parents that are still alive, siblings, that's obviously an important relationship. But the third, close third is the boss, because you spend as much time with your boss sometimes as you do your spouse. And you probably spend more time with your boss than you do your siblings. So that relationship is very, very important. It has a lot of influence, and it's very important that those supervisors have the knowledge and the skills and the confidence to be somebody's boss. So we're going through a 4-week journey here, going through the Everything Disc Management Profile. It's now on Catalyst, bit in the weeds, but if you know what Catalyst is, it's now on Catalyst. So it's a whole platform where we can teach the program. A lot of content on the platform for managers to have going forward, connect with their direct reports, connect with their colleagues. It's a very, very cool system. Happy to have you check it out. Just send me an email. I'm happy to walk you through the profile. If you'd like to take the profile, I'm happy to send it to you for free. You can take a look at it. But today, last week we talked about the dominance or D manager. Today we're going to talk about the I manager, the influence manager. That is a right-hand quadrant of on the Everything Disc map. We're going to talk about some of the strengths, maybe some of the things that are assumed by the I manager as they supervise, and then maybe some tips on how to work with each of the 4 styles. So let's kind of do a little kind of check-in recap. So high I managers are very expressive, right? They're very outgoing, very gregarious, very persuasive. They feel they inspire others. They spread optimism, and they create team spirit. It's kind of that high I, very outgoing supervisors. But some of the assumptions they have around those who work around them or those who report to them can get them into trouble. So let's just take a look at a couple. Most people are fine improvising. Actually, most people are not fine improvising. Where I's tend to improvise, do things from their gut, do things on the fly. Most folks don't. So that may be a bit of a challenge for I managers. I managers like to express their feelings. They do it all day long. They wear their hearts on their sleeves. Most of the other disc styles don't. So that's something that a I manager may assume about other folks. They also will fill the silence with talk because that's what they think they should do. But not everyone else does that. Not everyone else does that. So something else to keep in mind. It's okay to build up excitement about an idea, but a lot of folks won't get as excited as you are about a new idea. They need time to process. They have other questions for you. So that's, again, one of the other assumptions that you may have that the others may not have. And that everyone craves excitement. I like that one. Not everyone craves excitement. A high I manager likes to create excitement, loves excitement, jump on the table, scream at the moon. Not everybody likes that. So it's something else that an I manager needs to think about as they supervise. So let me give you a couple of tips. If you are an I manager, right, you are an I supervisor, here's some things to think about. If you have Ds who report to you or are your direct reports, keep in mind that they like to be chat with straightforward, calm, businesslike, get to the point. They don't like all the fluff as a general rule. They like an environment that you can create for them where they can be goal oriented. They can possibly be in charge of something. So that D's a get in, get out type of conversation, not a lot of fluff. So you don't need a lot of fluff when you're managing, supervising those on your team who are D. Eyes, obviously, if you have eyes that report to you, they also enjoy being upbeat, being excited about new things. You want to put them in that position where they can work on new things, create some team spirit. If you're an I, you're supervising an I, be careful that you guys may want to chat it up a lot. So that's something you may want to think about as an I manager. If you're supervising S's on your team, remember they like that calm, cool, collected. They're really worried about the group, not about themselves. So if you're an I manager, tend to be self-focused. Remember, S's tend to be others focused. So make sure that you're spending time with them and making sure that their needs are met, right? Make sure they're, and last but not least, are high C. So if you have a high C direct report and you're an I, you're basically the other side of the circle. Again, you need to slow down the pace. C's really don't like that emotion stuff, so please keep the emotion to the side. C is like an environment where they work by themselves and get really involved in their work. They like all the data, so make sure you get them all the data. I mean, you can be excited about the data. It's not jump on the table, scream at the moon kind of data. Make sure they get the data. Now, these things take practice, so I would encourage you to practice. There's a lot of tips in the assessment. So if you want to take the assessment, that'd be great. I'm also going to put in, wherever you're seeing this, I'm going to put in a link back to our website. Wiley has put together a little resource book called The Great Resignation. And then they talk about the 4 styles of managers, about the program a little bit. So I'm going to put that link in here. But if you have questions, please let me know. Next week, we'll talk about the S managers, right? Those managers who identify as S style, steadiness. But as I said earlier, if you are an HR training and you're watching this today, make sure you back up some of your supervisory skill training before you make your team members a boss. Very important. As always, this is Tuesday's Tips with Michael live here from the StreamYard studio in my office. Make it a great week. It looks like the weather's starting to break a little bit, so hopefully it's getting a little warmer by you. Take care.